This is not super long. I have never been to.
That's what she said.
I've driven through Arkansas, and maybe stayed there when I was a little kid, but I've never been out that way. I've never been to Lake Ouachita or the Ozarks or even Hot Springs. It's kind of like the summer version of New Mexico for Texans, and I spent a lot of time in New Mexico, so it's weird I never went to Arkansas, but I'd never been.
Okay.
What?
I think Arkansas is a lot more green, has a lot more to see than New Mexico.
But I'm saying in terms of skiing. Like, if they say that New Mexico is there for, like, Texans to go skiing type thing. Because there's not much else there. And I'm not shitting on either state, really. I just think Arkansas is known for lakes that are nicer than Texas's.
Yeah.
And that's very true. Handful of years ago, I got... hand up, I didn't know there were like fake lakes and real lakes. I didn't know that some. I grew up thinking that
I've learned that pretty recently.
I grew up thinking that Possum Kingdom was just there. When we go every summer, it's like.
I think in the last 10 years, I learned that every lake except like one in Texas is man-made.
Yeah. So what changed was the first time I went to Whitefish, Montana. And I saw a real lake for the first time, and I understood. And then I went to Coeur d'Alene. Totally different. I mean, the water you can see to the bottom, even if it's 50 feet. It's crystal clear.
Really?
It's glass. It's always the exact same cold temperature. You're not worried about brain-eating amoeba. It's
any trees growing up from the bottom?
No, it didn't used to be a landfill. So there's no trees growing up from the bottom. It's just always been there. And for me, I'll take that for the rest of my life over the beach. It's the cool, because it's usually in the mountains, nestled in there. There'll be like a train track around it. It's just, so I thought that's what Hot Springs is. It's not. The Ozarks are, but Hot Springs is not. But I'll tell you, it could fool you because the water is very clear and it's beautiful. But it is a reservoir that was made and then dammed, like for water flow purposes. It's not natural. But it's still absolutely beautiful. It's affordable compared to going to, some of those places like Montana that I mentioned. It's quick. Like, we got there with kids in 5.5 hours. And it's a much better drive than driving 5.5 hours to Houston or the coast. It's nice. So I want to start with the trip out there a little bit because I was trying to document this thing as I went. There was a store in Mount Vernon. I'm going to tell you about 2 stops in Mount Vernon. Now, does Mount Vernon ring any bells for anyone?
The place where George Washington...
Football-wise, anything. Isn't this where Art Briles went back?
Yes.
So Art Briles, he was brought out of shame to coach high school football first, Dan. It was a big talk of like, what community's going to welcome Art Briles back in? Well, he found one in Mount Vernon. And there's a store in Mount Vernon that we drove by that I stopped and took a picture of. We'll put up in 1 second, Clayton. Hold on. You know how we see these stores like let's say the Country Kitchen Cafe, but they've changed the C to a K, and you're like, that's a bit odd. Mm-hmm. Or maybe a city that starts with a K. Like if it were the Kemp, like they changed. My point is I've never seen one like this. Put it up. I've never seen one where they changed all 3 C's, boys. There's always one C that was to a K. I've never seen him change 3 C's to 3 K's. We're talking about Country Corner Creations. How much more obvious and blatant could you make it?
Yeah. It's like usually you want to not do that. That's the reason to not change all 3. Yes.
Sure. There's like a little fly under the radar.
Yeah.
They just changed all 3. That is a blatant, we love the KKK. I found much warmer hospitality. No.
Get a pillowcase.
I found
Cut some eye holes.
Much warmer hospitality at my next stop, which was Tag's Hometown Bar and Grill. The bar and grill operated by NBA career journeyman big Greg Ostertag
Where?
in Mount Vernon, Texas.
Wow.
He of, let's see, how many seasons was it? 15?
He's the guy I messed with his pants, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Duncanville.
When I was in what was it, the Dirk? Or it was the Madonna? Dirk or Madonna's celebrity?
Dirk's game now is the Madonna game, I believe.
Yeah, but I can't remember who was in charge at the time. But probably Madonna. The celebrity, whatever, baseball game. It was like real baseball. Wasn't softball. And yeah, when I got there, my pants were too small for me. I was a lot fatter back then. And so I went and grabbed a pair of Double X that was sitting over. And it turns out then later, like half hour later, Greg Ostertag walks in. And he puts on some pants, and they were the ones I had left laying there. I didn't know whose pants I took. I just found a Double X that was lying there. And now I'm roomy. And then Greg Ostertag, it looked like, you put on a little kid's pants or something. Like it was really like he could barely fit. And then so what I did was I said, hey, man, let me switch with you. I got a Double X. And then it turned out I looked like the hero.
That's awesome.
Like I was being really cool when I'm the one that actually stole his pants in the first place.
Well,
and he's got his own restaurant.
Yeah, he does, and I'm sure they would welcome you there with
Tags.
open arms. It was great. It was just,
Oh, and you had to eat there.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't. You have it backwards. I was there, and I was just, me, dude. If we're stopping to eat, I'm finding the best food we can eat in that town. I'm not going to.
But did you know it was
No.
Greg Ostertag before you got there?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I
See,
was like,
'cause I
I want
saw-
the best food that I can sit down and eat in downtown, and it was vacation, so I was already in, it's fucking demon mode, burger time. I ordered cheese sticks, all that. That was there, and then I sit down, and I'm like, this has the feel of a guy who averaged 8 and 5. Why are there Greg Ostertag jerseys everywhere? I think I have, there's another, it's
And
all
the place
throughout-
is called Tags, and
it's
you
called
didn't put
Tag.
it together.
No.
And
I don't even know that I knew it was called Tags.
But
yeah.
I've done that. So driving through Arkansas on the way to Ohio before, there's a sign somewhere that says the home of Jerry Van Dyke is whatever. And so I'm like, well, let's go see the home of Jerry Van, like the city of Jerry Van Dyke, because I think there was a restaurant, Jerry Van Dyke's, and it was the home of Jerry Van Dyke. And yeah, so we went to that restaurant and.
Something.
It's Jerry Van Dyke, the formerly coordinator on the show Coach. Brother of Dick Van Dyke. Yeah.
Coach, man.
Great show. We should break that down.
That's what I was just thinking, because I remember, they went to Orlando, and I remember as a kid being, aware of shark jumpage. As an 11-year-old, when shows would do that, being like, no, this sucks.
They thought, I need to hire this guy and his whole staff.
Right, yeah, let's bring Dauber to the NFL. Okay, so now we're there, and my setup is...
Wait, now you're at Hot Springs?
Yeah, we rented a house or Airbnb, whatever, on the lake, and it was...
Is that in Hot Springs Village?
No, we can get to that. We can talk about it if you want. Hot Springs Village, where Dan owns a piece.
Yeah, 0.25 acre or something.
It's not, it's not on the water. It's like a village. It's close, but it would have taken me about 45 minutes from where I was.
Oh, I thought there were some properties that were against the lake. I could be mistaken. The point is that I've contemplated, instead of selling that lot, what if we ever built a little Airbnb there, but I don't know if you're allowed to Airbnb.
You know what? I didn't even look your address up.
Okay.
I looked up Hot Springs Village.
And it was
said
45 minutes away
45, so I have a feeling I'll be back if you want the end of this story.
Okay.
But so the setup was we were on a house on the lake with me, wife, 2 kids who are 6 and 2, and then my wife's dad, who lives in New Iberia, which is in Louisiana. He's, in his 60s. He has a wife, her stepmom. She's, I don't know, mid or early 50s, and then their 3 daughters, my wife's half-sisters, are 26, 24, and 22.
Okay, the ones you've been scared of in the past.
Yeah.
Still?
That's a current fear.
Okay.
But it is
You're a boomer.
cool to, if I'm lucky.
Uh-huh.
It is cool to, like, they're not pains in the ass anymore. There is obviously you're experiencing this. There was a time, I've known these people for about 15 years, so right when I was getting in, I was like, fuck, dude, I'm traveling with an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old. It was horrible. It continued to be horrible. Love them, but, they were teenage girls. And now it's kind of cool. I think that the thing where you sit down with your family and watch TV or a movie that's very awkward and you're trying to avoid. I don't like watching movies where there's sex stuff in the presence of anybody. I don't mean like porno. I mean, I don't want to see simulated R-rated sex scenes with like the 22, 24, and 26-year-old. And I don't want to see it with my father-in-law either. And here's why. I think I've boiled this down. I don't want to be in a room where I'm pretty sure one of us has a boner. And they're all there, It's a decent chance if we're both sitting there. So for the most part at night, I would just hang out, in the room, in our bedroom with one of the kids. It's super easy. You got the in-laws there. You got the girls there who love little kids. It's like a real vacation. I don't really have to do anything. But it turns out now on vacation, I kind of do want to do things. Large dynamic shift there. So one of the things I did was I went to pick up a boat with my father-in-law and my wife. We got a boat for 2 full days while we were there. My father-in-law's a boat guy. If he could have, he would have brought his. He's done that before. He lives on the water. So we got a hot springs marina. It's a big marina, super cool place. It's vibe, jumping. We walk in, and a guy pops out, and he's like, "No shit." And I was like, "Yeah." And I start to think it's probably a listener, and he's like, "You got to be kidding me." And he's just like, "Dude, I'm a huge listener." And we never said on the show that we were going anywhere on vacation. And
so we have a subscriber in the Hot Springs Marina.
He works at the marina. His name is Brian Marino.
Marino at the marina.
He's about, 5'3", 5'4". This is my guy right here.
Okay.
Nice.
And he works at the marina, and he said that day even after like I came in, he met 3 or 4 more Dumb Zone listeners from Dallas that day at the marina.
Huh.
So if you want to go to Hot Springs, this dude can hook you up with boat rentals and what I did, which is how am I going to actually call this? We're going to call this e-foiling. Like, he is the guy who can hook you up with using these little hydrofoil e-foil boards. It's like this board. It's not attached to a jet ski, but it's a little, like, it looks like a boogie board. And you've got a thing in your hand, like a throttle, and you're down on your knees on it, and you start going, and you start picking up the throttle, and
so it's surfing.
But
there's no
powered.
waves.
There's no wave. It's powered like that, and as you start progressing forward and getting speed, the front of that board wants to come up. So really, you just have to figure out the physics of it first. So first, it's flat, right? You're on it flat. Start to pick up speed. You start to pick up speed. Now you're on it flat. Now
so it's putting your weight into certain areas to keep
You don't have to pop up in one motion like on a surfboard.
Yeah.
You can modularly sort of say like, okay, here, here, here. Now you're up. And now as you start to pick up that speed, that front end of that starts to come up. So right now to get speed, I'm just putting the front of my weight on the board and just hitting that throttle, and you can cruise at 25 miles an hour this is at 6 a.m. I met him there before anything opened. It's sunrise, just glass.
What if you drop the thing that's in your hand?
It is on your wrist, but it's going to float.
Okay.
And you can throttle it up or down. And
have you ever, is this new?
in the last, I've seen it, what'd you say, Blake, 5 to 10 years?
I haven't really seen this. Why did you go above the water?
So
what was that black thing?
So there's what do they call it? A foil? I don't know.
Yeah, it's foil.
It's called a hydrofoil, but there's a thing underneath it that is propelling water.
Okay.
Based on how hard you hit this thing, and it wants to push up like a plane.
Yeah.
So its nose is coming up like that, and if you're really good at this, and honestly, this is so easy that had I done this
just
for
crashed.
I know. Had I done this for another couple hours, I feel like I could have gotten it down. You can just ride all day on the water. You'll never fall. But if you want to get that thing up off the water and stabilize it, you're going to have to figure out a little more, which is like what you see Mark Zuckerberg doing, where the foil is all the way out of the water and you're still just, crushing. So I've seen
And
it.
you're back on it. It's easy to get back on and go.
And yes, it is. That's very important. It's not like a wakeboard.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not like
impossible.
Yeah, water skiing, you get the boat
Takes
comes back
forever.
Dude,
around.
it's
you
like
do the
a
whole
boogie
thing.
board. It's weighted like a boogie board where it'll pop up, and you just grab it, pull yourself up on it. And if you don't want to get up off the water and you just want to cruise, you can just do that. And this guy's like, he's probably 45. He's from here.
Marina?
Yeah. And he said, when I was in my late 30s, I visited here. He was really into wakeboarding and really into this and really into just water stuff in general. And he said he went there and tried it at Hot Springs and was like, well, this is what I want to do every day. So he moved there and works at the Marina, has a little place on the lake. He can swim to work if he wants. He's got a bunch of these boards, and he takes people out, does this. And he's like, if any Dumb Zone listeners want to come do it, a little discount.
That's living your dream, man. That's
Yeah.
I want to have him on at some
I
point.
just want to. I'm just gonna go move
Yeah. And I hit him up,
5
and he
hours
was,
away because
and it was tricky because, I had 2 full days of the boat with the family, and then we had a third day that was just going to be like go to town, which I'll tell you about in a second. Downtown Hot Springs, yeah.
Oh, go to town.
That different thing for them than for me and my wife. I don't know what's funnier if it's me jacking off. Anyways, but I'm like, I'm kind of tied up on that third day from like probably 10 to 4, maybe 5. Like I'd love to go, but I can't just bail on the family all day. And because he listens, he hit me up and he was like, I'll meet you at the Marina just before 6. He's like, there'll be no one there. And it was fantastic, dude. We just went and hung out for like an hour and a half and did this. So no, I was not worried he was going to kill me, as you asked me the other day.
So are you doing that when it comes out of the water?
Yeah, you're doing it by continuing to make it get
Okay,
juice.
you're asking for it.
Yes.
Okay.
You ask for it to come up, but once it starts coming up, the game has changed because now it's like, all right, now I have to
now
really.
it's a balance game.
It's a balance game, and when you do stuff on a skateboard, like skateboard man out there, when you kickflip, it all starts in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Your back is where you push and or kick with your back, push with your front, but this is inverted, so there is some catching up on that front. But he said this board was like $15,000,
Whoa.
but I found several that are decent for a few, and I could honestly see doing this at Lake Grapevine a couple times a week and it being worth it. Because you don't have to be skilled at all, like with wakeboarding or other types of skiing. Anyways, it was super fun. He's a good dude. So the downtown area and just Hot Springs in general, I don't know anything about it. I did tell my editor from D Magazine that I was going there, and he's like, oh, such and such. I think his name's David Hill, mentioned a writer that has written a bunch of stuff that you and I have read. He's from there, and he wrote a book called Vapors. And it is apparently about, at one point, Hot Springs was like Las Vegas before Las Vegas. Like the Vapors was the nicest nightclub, not in LA or New York. And it was just a straight up mob operation.
Like Ozark?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, when you hear about like the hot springs of Arkansas, that's not the lake, obviously, which is man-made. That's the springs that are in this downtown area that feed bathhouses, which is where, today you would think of as like, oh, that's like a gay thing. But in high society forever, that was like where people went to hang out, and they were naturally fed, or are. There's one there that's never turned off for 115 years. Most of those bathhouses have now been converted into like restaurants, which I thought Dan would find interesting, because they have a whole downtown row of like 12 like badass bathhouse buildings. but there's no market for it, so now they're like grocery stores or hotels. But they used to be places where people bathed.
Yeah, I'm interested in everything you're saying because I feel like I've been to Hot Springs Village quite a few times, as that's where Uncle Gary moved from Arlington to retire, and then he didn't know that he moved there to not be alive anymore, but then that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was like 45 minutes away. Like, how big is Hot Springs?
Not very big, but
it's
there's
Hot Springs Village, not even in Hot Springs. Like, it's confusing to me. Just because I thought I've been downtown, but I don't know where I've been.
Well,
just up some big,
I think
hour off the highway road that gets me to Hot Springs
I'll
Village.
show you downtown because there's a building in there downtown that I'm quite obsessed with. Did I put that in there, Clayton? I didn't? Okay. If you could find one of the Army-Navy Hot Springs Hospital. In their downtown, they have a veterans hospital. I think it's about 100 years old, over. It was used in World War I. And it's huge, and it's empty, and it's creepy as fuck, and there's multiple ghost tours of it.
Yeah, I don't think I've been downtown.
It's probably 50 stories high, and it's a full city block, and the whole town is built around it downtown.
Wow.
And the first floor has, like, physical rehab, and I found an ice cream shop. In the first floor.
So there's something in it.
The first floor.
Nothing higher?
No. And it is huge, dude. And there's no plan to do anything with it. I looked into...
Put our studio there.
I asked Brian about it. Let's see. This is from some entry on a historical website about it. Because they say it's very haunted, right? You think they were treating the veterans of World War I well in Tulsa, Arkansas?
Are they like, oh my gosh. So this is haunted. Now, the first floor, it's fine.
I know.
It's just haunted above us.
Let's put an ice cream spot in here.
Right.
Look at that.
That's the hospital?
That is their downtown. First of all, that building is beautiful.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like the old Parkland, when that was over there.
The loony bin.
Sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that building is, like, there's restaurants all around it on the other side, and it just sits there. And I guess you can't do anything with it. And in my thought, I'm like, you would turn this into residential, and if you could, but there's nobody to live there in Hot Springs. It just sits there. Creepy. This entry says, kill-outs weren't uncommon, taking out entire floors of people when one fatal illness would first make rounds. In 41, we had a soldier show up late one day. All he had was swollen ankles and a light fever. He came to the doctor. Doctor said, tell you what, it's late in the day. We'll get you x-rays on your ankles and put you to bed. Get a good night's rest. Get some food. I'll be back in the morning to look at the x-rays and talk about the mobility. They put him to bed. The next morning, the soldier woke up, and he was so sick they could hardly get him out of bed. 2 days later, the rash showed up. 3 days later, he was dead. 7 days later, the entire floor was dead. And 3 weeks later, over 90% of the people in that hospital were dead. So they were just routinely losing all of their patients. And that's a big building.
Well, yeah, you'd have to close if that's what you keep doing and you're a hospital.
Well, I mean, I think it's a government hospital, for veterans. So, yeah, it's a weird place, man. It's a creepy spot, and I love it. It's affordable. One other thing, since it is dammed, it's a reservoir. You can take a boat or whatever to the north end of it where the dam is. And maybe this is why the club was called the Vapors. I wasn't able to find that out. But the water's cold in the lake. But if you start to go north towards that dam, and it's almost more like a river at that point, it's like when the eclipse happened. No lie, dude. When you cross over a certain threshold in that boat, the temperature drops 20 to 25 degrees. And as you progress, because of, I guess, the water coming off the dam is so cold mixing with the hot water of the lake, about 10 feet off the water, it's just vapor.
Steamy.
And it's awesome.
Okay.
And it feels like you're in True Detective. And, the first day we went up there, I'd already gotten out of the water for the day, but my father-in-law was like, I'm going to show you this. We get up there. Then he's like, get in there, boy. You like that cold plunge? You know, and I'm like, dude, we come back tomorrow. I'm doing it. And we went up the next day, and I did a cold plunge in the water for like 2 minutes. It was awesome. That was the embarrassing part I was going to tell you about is
Oh, yeah.
I got out of the water, and obviously, you know, it is what it is, right? And I'm not going to, in case they hear it, say which one of them, but one of the 3 girls was just dead eye on my junk.
Looking at how tiny it was?
Yeah, and I go, hey, this is not fair.
One of her sisters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird,
yeah.
right? Like, I don't think I should have even commented and tried to do a humorous mode
Yeah, you were
with that
in
material.
defense mode.
I was. But overall,
I
man,
don't blame you.
it's a very cool place.